What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Board Game Strategery. I've got a new microphone, so the voiceovers are back. I've been spending a lot of time trying to play around and find out what works best for these videos, and I'm still going to continue to do so, but we'll see how it goes. Today's episode is going to be another round in the Green Goblin experiment. So far, it's been pretty bad. 0 wins and 3 losses, and really that's just because I didn't put all my games on video. It should really be closer to 0 wins, 20 losses. Anyway, today we're going to be trying something different and using the Plan B scenario from the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion. The heroes that we will be using for today are Spider-Man, Groot, Beta Ray Bill, and Star-Lord. Green Goblin will move to Times Square. Electro will enter at Xandar. 2 civilians enter Times Square. 1 civilian enters Xandar, and 1 civilian enters the Royal Palace. Spider-Man draws and plays Great Power, gaining 3 attacks. One of those attacks deals 1 damage to Electro. He moves to Warrior Falls, and his remaining 2 attacks defeats 2 thugs, and that gains him 2 hero tokens. Groot draws a move card and plays an attack. His attack deals 1 damage to Electro, and then his attack action allows him and Beta Ray Bill to both attack, dealing 2 damage to Electro and clearing that threat. Groot will then move to Times Square, and at the end of the turn, he rescues 1 civilian. Beta Ray Bill draws a move attack and plays a double hero. He rescues 2 civilians at Xandar. Green Goblin draws a kidnap card, moving 2 spaces to Warrior Falls, dealing 1 damage to Spider-Man. Spider-Man discards a move card, and Civilian Shield enters at Avengers Tower. Star-Lord draws and plays a move attack. He moves to Times Square, rescues 2 civilians, defeats 1 thug, and at the end of the turn, he rescues the last civilian. Spider-Man draws and plays a move hero, moving to Avengers Tower, placing a hero token on Civilian Shield, moving to Jabari Village, defeating a thug, and at the end of the turn, he gets a wild token. Groot draws a move and plays a hero card. His hero card lets him and Spider-Man draw 1 card, so Groot draws another move and Spider-Man draws an attack. Groot then moves to the Royal Palace, and with 2 hero actions, he rescues 2 civilians. Green Goblin will move to Xandar, dealing 1 damage to Beta Ray Bill, so Bill will discard Stormbreaker. Next, Kraven will enter at Jabari Village. A thug and civilian enter Times Square, 2 civilians enter Xandar, and a thug and civilian will enter Warrior Falls. Beta Ray Bill draws a double attack, playing a move and attack. He rescues 1 civilian at Xandar, then moves to Times Square, defeating a thug, and at the end of the turn, he rescues a civilian. Star-Lord draws a move hero and plays Problem Solver. Problem Solver will give an attack token to Spider-Man. Star-Lord uses his wild as a move to move to Jabari Village and deal 1 damage to Kraven. Spider-Man draws Great Responsibility and plays a double attack. Using his attack token, he deals 3 damage to Kraven, clearing the threat. He then moves to Avengers Tower. Green Goblin draws a kidnap card. He moves 1 space to Warrior Falls. Lizard will enter at Jabari Village, and he kidnaps a civilian. Groot draws an attack and plays a move. His move action moves Beta Ray Bill to the Royal Palace. Groot will move to Jabari Village and deal 2 damage to Lizard. Beta Ray Bill draws and plays Stormbreaker. He moves to Jabari Village. Stormbreaker does 2 damage to Lizard, and Beta Ray Bill draws an attack. He then moves back to the Royal Palace, and at the end of the turn, he searches his deck for another Stormbreaker, placing it on top. Star-Lord draws a move hero, but plays an attack. His attack deals 1 damage to Lizard, clearing the threat. At the end of the turn, he gets a wild token. Green Goblin moves 3 spaces to the Royal Palace, dealing 1 damage to Beta Ray Bill, who discards an attack. Electro will enter Times Square. 2 civilians enter the Royal Palace. 2 civilians enter Jabari Village. And 2 civilians enter Times Square. Spider-Man draws a move and attack, playing Web Slinging. Web Slinging gets him 2 move tokens. He then puts 2 hero tokens on the civilian shield, clearing the threat. Spider-Man will then use both hero tokens as well as his move to move to Times Square, and with his attack he deals 1 damage to Electro. He also uses his wild token to deal 1 more damage to Electro. Groot draws a hero card and plays a move. His move action moves Beta Ray Bill up to Times Square, and at the end of the turn he gets a wild token. Beta Ray Bill draws and plays Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker will deal 2 damage to Electro, clearing the threat, and Beta Ray Bill draws a move hero. He will then move to Warrior Falls, and at the end of the turn, he defeats a thug. Green Goblin will now move to Xandar. Civilian Shield will enter Warrior Falls. A thug enters at Times Square. 2 thugs enter Xandar, and a thug enters Warrior Falls. Star-Lord draws and plays a double move. Moving to Times Square, he uses his wild token as an attack to defeat a thug, and at the end of the turn, he rescues a civilian. Spider-Man draws a move hero and plays Great Responsibility. He moves to Xandar. Great Responsibility lets him rescue a civilian as well as both kidnapped civilians from Green Goblin. This means that the first mission is completed and Green Goblin will now act faster as he's under pressure. This also gives Spider-Man 3 attack tokens. 2 attack tokens will defeat both thugs at Xandar. Then he moves to Warrior Falls, defeats the thug there. And finally, he moves to Avengers Tower where he ends his turn. During Goblin's next turn, he doesn't move, but Kraven will enter at Avengers Tower. Groot will draw and play a hero card. His hero action lets him and Beta Ray Bill draw a card, so Groot draws an attack and Bill draws a move hero. With Groot's hero action, he rescues a civilian, and at the end of his turn, he gets a wild token. Beta Ray Bill draws a double attack and plays a move hero. He places 2 hero tokens on the civilian shield, and then moves to Xandar. Green Goblin draws a Goblin formula, dealing 1 damage to Beta Ray Bill, who discards a double attack. Lizard will enter play at Jabari Village. Next, Kraven moves from Avengers Tower to Times Square and deals 1 damage to Star-Lord, who discards a hero card. Star-Lord draws a double hero and plays a move-in hero. He moves to Xandar, rescuing a civilian, and then he moves to Warrior Falls, placing a hero token on the civilian shield, clearing the threat. This completes 2 missions, and all I have left to do is 1 mission to defeat 2 thugs. Spider-Man draws a double hero and plays a move attack. He moves to Jabari Village, where he uses his attack action and his attack token to deal 2 damage to Lizard. He then moves back to Avengers Tower. Green Goblin will move to Warrior Falls, dealing 2 damage to Star-Lord, knocking him out. That will trigger another round of BAM effects, but let's finish this round first. Corporate Thugs will enter Avengers Tower. Lizard will deal 2 damage to Groot, so Groot will discard a move and an attack. Kraven will move to Xandar, dealing 1 damage to Beta Ray Bill, so Bill will discard a move and hero. For the next round of BAM effects, corporate thugs will enter play at the Royal Palace, adding a thug. Lizard will deal 2 more damage to Groot, so Groot will discard a hero and an attack. Craven looks like he's moving back all the way around to Xandar, dealing 1 more damage to Beta Ray Bill, so Bill will lose a double attack. 2 thugs enter Xandar, 1 thug enters Warrior Falls, and it's supposed to be 2 thugs entering Avengers Tower, but only there's room for 1, so that triggers 1 more overflow. Electro will enter Times Square. So this was a pretty bad turn of events. This could have easily been it for me. And this was something that came just entirely out of nowhere. I had everything done right. I had the board locked down. And because I drew the wrong card at the wrong time, Goblin almost won, just like that. Groot draws and plays his attack card now. He will move to the Royal Palace. 2 attacks will defeat this 1 thug. And his attack action also allows Beta Ray Bill to attack, and he will clear that thug. And there you have it. All 3 missions complete. My first win against the Green Goblin. In general, I would say that it upgrades the encounter to make it at least winnable. I was still in danger on a couple of occasions, and especially with that last turn of events, I could easily have lost the game right there and then, but at least now I felt like I had a chance. One of the most dangerous parts of playing against Green Goblin is the fact that he can just randomly make you have to deal with either too many civilians or too many thugs, which means that you have to clear missions before you're ready, which means that he gets to act faster than you're ready for him to. And under Plan B rules, that's something that helps me, is having to rescue more civilians and defeat more thugs, because it gives me more breathing room and it gives me more space to be able to mitigate being flooded out with the wrong kinds of tokens. By paying attention to what cards he's already drawn, paying particular attention to how many spaces he can move, you can play the odds and anticipate future events. This can be very difficult to do in the first few turns, but eventually, soon enough, you will be able to determine which locations are safe or under greater threat based on the master plan cards that have already entered play and those that have not entered play yet. Spider-Man, I think, is just, so far, he's my #1 pick for just like MVP of the whole set. He's easily my favorite hero to use. He's so flavorful. He does so many great things and has so many huge turns, but he never feels overpowered or imbalanced. Groot is someone who, at first, I found super awkward. I don't want to say that I really fully understand how to play him best, but I found that if you surround him with the right heroes, he can be so good. Beta Ray Bill, I love how durable he is, especially when you pair him with someone who heals, like Groot. I would say he's my favorite tank in the game so far. And Star-Lord, this is my first game with him. I've been pretty happy with what he does. I think he's got a really great selection of abilities. I don't know that I like him more than Captain America, though, as a kind of like facilitator or like a setup character, but he's pretty good. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you again soon with another episode of Board Game Strategery. Thanks everyone. Catch you later.